It's been nearly a day since we found Mary. We're like a boat adrift on the ocean without a compass to guide us. Who knows where the currents will take us? Will we find salvation at the end? Hey, Mr. Light? Looks like we wasted a whole day. Is it going to be like this every day? If you're done checking in here, why don't we take a look outside? Mary said unnecessary contact with outsiders could speed up the Mark's curse. And if I lose any more of my memories, I'm not sure I'll be able to function. For the past 10 days, the only other person I've spoken to is the convenience store clerk. That explains why we've only had TV dinners and snack food to eat. But sitting and waiting isn't going to accomplish anything. I'd rather not wind up forgetting my own name like you. Not that I completely believe that this curse thing is real. She raises her voice to hide how it shakes. She's still stubbornly sticking to her denial of the existence of spirits in the Mark. But I know she's already accepted it. After all, she went through it herself last night. Ghosts and curses don't exist. Why'd this have to happen to me? Hiro is suddenly startled at the sudden knock. A visitor in the middle of the night. I don't need Mary to know it's a mark bearer. Sorry to impose on you so late. A tall, thin man walks in. His skin is as white as a sheet and dark circles nearly swallow his eyes. It's almost like a dead person stands before us. You're Light and Hiro, right? I heard about you and the Mark from Yasuoka before I came here. Something about Miss Zu, too? Sounds like you had a rough night. He seems to know Yasuoka. Maybe she's following through on her promise and sent him to help us. Well, let's get introductions done. I'm Shuji Daimon. I think you can guess my occupation. Wearing this thing means I don't have to explain, thank goodness. He gestures to the stethoscope around his neck. What kind of business brings a doctor like you here? Daimon's eyes flicker over at the suspicion in Hiro's tone. No need to be so defensive. I have the curse scar, same as you, and the mark. He unbuttons his shirt to reveal a familiar mark on the left side of his chest. It just suddenly appeared one day. Though, to be honest, I never thought it'd happen to me. Maybe it's punishment for being stupidly curious about it. Curious? Did you know about the mark before Yasuoka told you about it? Yeah, that's right. There's mention of a strange scar in my grandpa's records as a military physician. I did some personal research. A military physician's records would mean they'd be from the Second World War, more than 50 years ago. But that doesn't add up. Rumors of the mark only started about a month ago now. If it was mentioned in those records, the rumors would be much older. There is a reason for that. Patients with the symptoms were kept in a secret army laboratory. After the war, all top-secret documents related to the lab were burned, except the clinical records I found. A secret lab, huh? That's kind of hard to believe. Dr. Daimon, you don't mean to say the mark was used as a sort of biological weapon? Every country had at least one or two soldiers who were divinely possessed. People only call on gods when they're in trouble. It was the end of the war, and they were backed in a corner. How unscientific. Don't you think so, Mr. Light? What? Are you serious? We can't deny it's possible, is what I said. I can see why Yasuoka gave you her stamp of approval. The way you consider every possibility is indeed admirable. That open-mindedness must allow you to face the supernatural. However, it's hard to picture the mark being used as a weapon. It seems the 13th Army Engineering Lab was developing something. It was called the Kannon Soldier. Kannon Soldier. That makes me think of the Buddha... I don't actually know how to say his name. Bodhisattva or something like that? I never learned how to say that word. But it's supposed to be the Buddha Kannon. 50 years ago, and the Buddha statues. It can't be. Dr. Daimon, where is that lab? Unfortunately, I have no idea. Sorry. The documents my grandfather kept don't give any details about it. I see. Hey, Mr. Light? That 13th Army Engineering Lab. It's the shelter Zukawa went to. She pulls out her old map. I'd wanted to keep it secret, but as I'd rather not die from this mark, I'll tell you. This shows the entrances to the 13th Army Engineering Lab. Are you serious? In his excitement, he starts coughing. My apologies. Where'd you get that, hero? My grandfather passed 6 months ago. We were sorting his belongings. Isn't the idea of a secret lab just fascinating? So I thought I'd look into it. And then Miss Zukawa stole it. I accidentally let it slip to her. She loves strange experiments like that, so it probably stuck with her. I thought as much, though. Whatever turned her into a monster is down in that secret lab. That's a pretty unscientific line of reasoning. Using the occult to turn yourself into a monster is utter nonsense. But if there's a scientific method behind it, I'll have to consider it. I suppose that's just how she is. Was your grandfather involved with the lab in some way, hero? He could have been. All I know is he was an engineer with the rank of captain. Wait, hold on. You're both grandchildren of people involved with the engineering lab? And now both of you have the mark? Yes, that would be correct. That and our lab coats are probably all Hero and I have in common. From what we understand, people with the mark appeared in the secret lab 50 years ago. There might be something there that'll help us find the truth behind the curse. That's also the origin of the Kannon soldier. A name that reminds me of a statue. The traces of Mizu in the shelter. It might all be connected to the Buddha statues that were stolen from H Shrine. Dr. Daimon gave us a lot of info. We'll have to thank Yasuoka for introducing him to us. The fates are indeed mysterious. Dr. Daimon, will you help us? Yes, of course. Just don't expect anything physical. Are you sick? You don't look so well. Yes, something like that. I don't practice what I preach. His dry laugh sounds like he's deflecting. He's abnormally thin for a man his age. It's possible that he's gravely ill. So, we're heading to the shelter? About that. We were stopped from going further by a locked door. That strange old man was there too. I doubt he'll cooperate with us, though. It'll be difficult to break in from there. Where did you enter the shelter? A manhole on Kei Miyamachi North Road. I see. She opens the map and studies it. You're right, an entrance is there. But there seems to be one other one. It's at No South Alley. Have you tried going there? No, not yet. Then let's go there. Hopefully we can get in. Rumors of the Kannon soldier. Kinda curious what this one looks like. We'll leave Madoka in the party because I assume you need her because of the map stuff. We reach No South Alley. Like the North Road, it's silent and empty. The map doesn't specify the location of the entrance, just that it's here. We'll have to search for it. Even though this is a residential area, the street is completely deserted. There's a manhole. Unlike Kei Miyamachi, this road only has one. I'm sure this is the place. The manhole lid has a place to grip it, just like the one at Kei Miyamachi. This has to be it. Still, this is strange. Why does the public have any idea about this underground shelter? You'd think the sewer department would, at least. How the hell should I know? It was probably hushed up so those involved didn't get in trouble. So, in case you're wondering how the sewer department doesn't know about this, it's actually kind of strange, but it makes sense when you think about it. Most people will leave the sewer alone until there's a problem in there, and if that's not a functional sewer, it will never have a problem, therefore no one will ever actually interact with it. Everyone will just leave it alone, thinking one of these days there'll be a problem and we'll deal with it then, and it gets kicked down the road and it's never discovered. It can seriously sit there for years. And if you're wondering, there are historical analogs to this that aren't quite a sewer, but things along those lines. Funny things pop up over the decades. They supposedly performed some terrible experiments in there after all. Does she sound kind of excited? I bet the terrible experiments fascinate her. When I lift the lid, a musty smell greets me. This smells familiar. Like the other entrance, the hole goes deep. Thankfully, there's a ladder here, too. Alright, time to go down. Go ahead, Mr. Light. Hero and I descend into the dark world hidden beneath H City. What awaits us down in that darkness? Will we find the truth we're seeking? Or a hell smeared with blood? Episode 5. So real quick, this is the last chapter in the main game. There's an extra mission, though. The sight that greets us at the bottom is the same as what we saw at Kamiyamachi. The looming concrete walls and the suffocating stagnant air. We weren't wrong to assume that the two places are connected. So, this is the engineering lab. It's even more dreary than I expected. Wait, do you hear a song? If it's not some kind of prank, then maybe the spirits of the soldiers are wandering around and singing. You have no proof of that. It's entirely unscientific. Shut up about that crap. Sorry. Still, it's a little unsettling to hear an army song all the way down here. It's gotta be a supernatural phenomenon. Or a tape recording. It's a blood stain. There's an area within the stain that's a lighter color than the rest. I run my fingers over it and realize that something is stuck to the floor. I keep scratching it until it starts to crease, and I manage to pull it up off the floor. Talisman crumbles, yada yada yada. There are pitch-black stains. Is this blood? What? Impossible. This much blood would be... But doesn't that other thing bother you too? I'm not an idiot. Of course I notice. That spot without any stains. It looks like something was posted here. There's a clearly defined clean space on the wall as if somebody had been there. It looks like it avoided being sprayed with blood because something was originally posted here. A poster or bulletin, something like that. Well, it's illegible now. The stains seem to be old blood. It crackles and breaks off into flakes when I run my fingers over it. A trail of blood leads to the ladder at the entrance. Was someone trying to escape? Wondering if I should have looked behind me. Something flows swiftly down the pipes. Well, she's probably having a crappy time. It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open it if I had the key. Another locked door, I bet. There are pitch-black stains. I open my eyes wide and stare at the white space that might have been a poster. I'll end up drying out my eyes. The stains seem to be old blood. It crackles and breaks off into flakes when I run my fingers over it. Thick iron door, keyholes and rusted. I could open it if I had the key. When I step in front of an iron door that appears before me, the air clearly shifts. Goosebumps rise. A presence is approaching. There's an incessant beeping like from a telegraph. I shrug and keep moving forward. The beeping becomes gradually louder, almost if it's trying to tell me something. The sequence long, short, long just keeps repeating. This code, what in the world does it mean? I hear a quiet voice. Point to your soul. The beeping suddenly stops. Yeah, I don't know which one I hate more, the beeping or the chant here. Hero seems terrified. Hey, Hero, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, obviously. She's acting different than usual. Let's go, I think it's fine now. Understood. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. I imagine it's all the same things. The air in this room is musty. At first glance, I'd say it's part of a medical facility. This is an operating room. And the smell. Thought so. There it is. Shine the light over there for a second. I shine the flashlight as directed, and find a corpse. Hero crouches down and begins to study it. Usually Hero would be terrified, but at least for now she's fine. So you're fine with stuff like that. What? We all have organs and bones inside us, don't we? Only an idiot would be scared of them. Hero skillfully examines the body. When they're done, they stand up again. To be blunt, the corpse is odd. What really draws the eyes is that the cervical vertebra has been severed. But the cut isn't normal. It's like it's notched. The only thing I can think of is that it was cut with a non-surgical tool. I have no idea why anyone would want to do something that cruel, though. In any case, it's clear that the head was purposely severed. The head was severed with a tool, huh? The corpse is too old to tell everything. There should be a clue nearby. We must have searched the room. Yeah, good idea. In the lab. So if you didn't know, cervical vertebrae is in the neck. I open the wire mesh door and peek inside, but I don't see anything. I go close to the door and see a paper stuck to the backside. It's a cabinet with a glass door. Looks like something's inside. I open it and search around. I find bells attached to a handle and a notebook with a black cover. It's titled Disposal Vat Management Record. I flip the cover open. Dispose 200 Superdimension. Suddenly iron door, half spiritualized. Hypothesize 4 mystical forces. Needs sacred object to erase. Safety valve release code Diamond. There's nothing else written. Kagura Suzu bells. I have no idea what that is. Disposal vat management record. What in the world are these notes going on about? Disposal, half spiritualization? I don't understand half of these words. Plus, those spells I found don't fit with this place at all. I close the notebook and put it in my bag. Just then, something tingles around my hand. Huh? It's a thin thread. It seems to be human hair. It glitters pale gold in the light. What? The mark starts sucking at my blood. I ignore it and instead stare at the shining hair, as if being pulled in. It's odd, but I get the real feeling that... this moment... no, it's here. This place. I've been here before. A few hours left already? What? Someone mumbles right next to me. Wait, that's not someone else. That's my own voice. As I thought, it's here. The words pour out from deep inside. I have absolutely no knowledge or control over them. Memories that aren't mine, words and feelings I couldn't possibly know are falling from my lips. Check the disposal vat. It must be behind that wall. Felt weird when standing in front of that wall. Huh? Wait. Mr. Hero, what are you talking about? The instant Hero speaks, the voice stops. It's nothing. I just remembered something important. You sure you're okay? You were mumbling some strange things. I'm fine, really. Just spaced out for a bit. For better or worse, Hero didn't clearly hear what I was saying. Still, though, that voice. Could it be that my old self, the one I'd lost along with my memories, was talking to me? The feeling I got when I saw that golden hair. Maybe that's what triggered it. I haven't heard that other guiding voice for a while now. I guess all I can do is rely on my old self. The disposal vat beyond the wall. The voice said to find that. It's a metal cabinet. Some of the doors are open, but most are locked tight. I searched the ones that are open. I found a notebook titled Research Records and an army short sword. The letters in the notebook have faded, but I can still read it. The experiment miraculously succeeded. This divine protection. The something statue. Something from a shrine created by line statue makers. Using chisel, donated by same family, severe head. Tooled together becomes the key. Finally, our dearest wish. There's nothing else written. A chisel? Like for sculpting? Yeah, most likely. Impossible. How could they do something like that? That's just impossible. It looks like it's been a number of years since this person died. The dried skin gives the appearance of a mummy. The cut by the neck is jagged. Must have been with some kind of tool. The dried blood is blackened on the floor. Quite a lot. Whoever left it probably died. I peek into the waterway and see something floating. I reach for it as I hold on to the edge. Somehow I manage to grab it. I don't know if you hear that alarm in the background. Let's see if another ghost pops up, because I may have to take a break for a moment. Let's look to the left. There it goes. We go north of the intersection and an outline of a door is flickering faintly in the wall ahead of us. Hey, look at that. What? What? Impossible. Is it another ghost thing? You can't see it. See what? Looks like Hero can't see the door. That's the spiritual. My mouth begins mumbling words that I don't recognize all on its own. Oppose the spiritual with spiritual. If you touch it with a tool that honors the gods. The flow of words out of my mouth stops. Touch it with a tool that honors the gods. Flickering half-spirit door. There's literally nothing here. Wow, game, wow. So I have to admit, the part that scares me most about all this is I'm probably going to be hearing this song whenever I close my eyes. There are pitch-black stains. I open my eyes wide and stare at the white space that might have been a poster. Mysteriously enough, I can almost see shadows what look like letters, but they're not clear enough to read. The stains seem to be old blood. Okay, that's all the same. Hold on a second. We could go through that door, couldn't we? I was thinking it was locked, which is why I just turned around, but... yeah. It's set up the same way as that operating room. This place may have been used for the same experiments. There might be records left behind. Let's look. It looks like it's been a number of years since this person died. The dried skin gives the appearance of a mummy. The cut by the neck is jagged. It must have been cut with some kind of tool. So I was wondering if there's going to be some sort of ghost lurking around here, but nothing's popping out. Nothing's inside the metal cabinet. It's a cabinet with a glass door. Looks like there's something in it. I open it and search inside. I find a notebook titled Research Records and a small gun. The notes have deteriorated, but I can just make out what they say. 70th experiment. Or 70th. Next experiment, Ostra statue. Connect male body and female head. Success. Then, supernatural phenomenon. Spirit, frequent, hard, continue experiments. That's all it says. Notes on the experiments, huh? You better give it a read. It's a rusted filing cabinet. It's a well-built metal cabinet. Whatever's inside should be intact. When I open the door, a cloud of dust flies up and blocks my vision. A notebook with a black cover is left inside. Unit correspondence code. It seems to be a document about cryptograms. Inside it says... Kannon, weapons code name. So, 3 shorts long, 2 shorts too long. Heavenly Buddha Project, project's code name. Yeah. Soul, human heads used as materials. So, going back to the whole touch your head thing, I figured it was head because the statues were decapitated, but apparently this is where you find out what the correct answer was. It looks like Wabun code. It's similar to Morse. Okay, so right here, that's the clue. Use the bell. Anything in the water? The outline of a door flickers in and out of the wall. It's hard to make it out clearly. Is this what half spiritualization is? I touch the door, but it just feels like a wall. Seems the door has no substance. Oh, it's the top one. A bell used in ancient Shinto dance rituals. It has 3 sets of small bells, 7, 5, and 3, also called a Miko bell. It's meant to be used by shrine maidens. I take out the Kagura Suzu bell. Is just touching it okay? No, have to. Strange words spill from my lips again. It's the priestess's tool. If a man displays spiritual power, it'll be destroyed, so touch it silently. All I have is questions, but I have no choice but to trust the other me. I touch the bells to the door carefully, making sure not to make any noise. The next instant, the door physically appears. What? What just happened? What did you do? It just felt like it was the right thing to do. But I stare at the door. I sense an alarming presence. According to my own voice, if I can call it that, the disposal vat is beyond this door. I found some documents about it in the room with the operating table. It might be good to look through those. Let's be careful. That place has given me a bad feeling. I push open the iron door and we head inside. What is this place? On the other side of the door is a large empty area reminiscent of a vault. Is this the disposal vat? It should be, but it's not quite what I expected. Oh, something's on the ground. A katana? Got rusted army sword. I take what Hiro picked up. I shine the flashlight around the area. Are these heads of Buddha statues? It doesn't seem like they're being stored. Is this some kind of garbage dump? Just then. Huh? A sound echoes off something heavy moving, and suddenly the room is lit with a pale light. What was that noise? Let's get out of here for now. I tried to open the door to get out, but... What? It's locked. What? We've been locked in. A cutting coldness invades and envelops my feet. My head snaps up and I see water pouring into the room like a giant waterfall. Water. It's ice cold. A polar bear swim is not something I ever wanted to do. It quickly rises to our knees. I can't even feel my feet anymore. Water underground? Hurry and open the door. We'll get hypothermia. I have to remember. What was written in those documents about the disposal vat? Why is he near me are the Buddha heads? Oh, there was the diamond came up, I remember that. I touch the diamond R-hat head. There's a heavy shudder and the sound of movement. Then the pooling water suddenly starts sweeping in one direction, down into a drain. Whoa. When I open my eyes, all I see is darkness. I quickly lift my head and rub my eyes. My vision slowly comes back. This is an intersection in the underground shelter. Looks like we were drained out with the water and flushed down a pipe. We were lucky. I very nearly breathed a sigh of relief, but then I remember Hiro. That's right, where's Hiro? No need to be so worried. So it's you. It's been a while, you sneaky intruder. It's that old man I met in the passageway beneath Manhole Street. I tried to ask him about Hero, but... my jaw's nearly locked and my voice is gone. Don't try to talk just yet. The water here comes straight from the T Mountain Range, so it's deadly cold. You were submerged in it for near an hour, so you'll be slurring your words for a while. Relax, relax, your friend's fine. So you, got somewhere to go back to? I nod as I groan. The old man's face brightens like the sun. Well, that's great. Not that I'm demanding a reward for saving you or anything, but I am pretty darn hungry. The man eyes me, his smile sharp. We get in the car, and even though it's the wrong season for it, I turn the heat on full blast. We dry off with towels and the like, but it doesn't stop our shivering for a long time. While this is going on, the old man... Ooh, it's hot. Can I open a window? He's blindly fanning himself in front of us. Okay, yes, in a way we owe him our lives, but even so, he's being a pain. Hang in there a little while longer. Hero shudders. We're about to freeze, you know? It was an honest question. It probably sucks for him, but we still keep the car like a sauna. After driving like that for a while, our teeth finally stopped chattering. The man's name is Banshi Ito. That's how he introduced himself. But that obviously isn't his real name. As he sits next to me, maybe his name is supposed to be Banshee? Banshee gives off a savory smell, like freshly baked bread. It kind of cheers me up. Or at least it does for a few moments until I realize it's the stench of dried filth. So, Banshee, what were you doing in a place like that? Banshee remains silent. Are you listening to me? Don't feel up to talking yet. I'll tell you in exchange for food. I shouldn't be surprised. Life's rough. Wait, that should be my question. What were you two doing down there? It's a long story. I summarize everything we know about spirits and the mark until I catch up to him when we met him in the underground shelter. So that's how it is, huh? He nods vigorously to himself. Do you really understand any of that? Hero's doubts are reasonable, but Banshee waves a hand dismissively. Of course I do. Who do you think I am? A terrible grudge is mucking up that underground shelter, and you guys are wrapped up in it now. His story suddenly sounds fishy. A grudge. Banshee, do you know what happened down there? I said I'm not talking about that yet. I was born into a noble family, so I've always had the ability to see things others can't. I stake my name, Banshee Ito, on it, so you can trust me. There's a terrible grudge swirling there, and you've gotten swept up in it. He's got nothing to base his claims on, but I get the feeling he's on the right track. In that case, oh noble Lord Banshee, would you tell us? How do we overcome that whirlpool? Banshee replies with a magnanimous flourish. That should be obvious. Whirlpools always have a center. You gotta find that. The center. That swirling grudge and the spirit thing is what you called it? The birth of the spirit, the heart of the curse. Something like that should be left within that there swirling grudge. If you look for that, I'm sure then... He trails off. He gazes at the dark road, his mouth hanging open. It's like he's run out of batteries. Then what? What will happen? The black sky simply goes on forever before Banshee's eyes. Oh, that reminds me, Light. Banshee calls out as soon as we enter the garage. Take this, just a little symbol of our friendship. Underground shelter key. Is this a key for the underground shelter? I found it when I was popping in and out from that place. Held on to it. But I'll lend it to you for now, Light. He just picked it up. Why is he acting like it's a favor? But I have no reason to refuse him. Thanks. I'll borrow it. Daimon walks up to us. Hey, you came back safely. Were you able to learn anything? Hiro butts in before I can speak. Wait just a minute. Don't tell me. You aren't going to believe that old man's story, are you? He's fishy. Wow, that's rude. If you want my opinion, a snotty punk like you should be trusted even less. Of course, Light. You believe me, right? I hold your opinion higher than the broad's. That's my good pal Light for you. Hey now, you feeling okay in the head? Anyway, changing the subject. Good grief, can we just move on from talking about this? Banshee, you're hungry, right? The dining room should have something. Food, food! Banshee bolts out of the garage and vanishes into the mansion. Daimon gives me an exasperated look. Light, it seems you've got another troublemaker on your hands. To appease the starving Banshee, I offer him some cup noodles and sweet buns. The epitome of hunger, he greedily begins snarfing it down like a starving dog. That was enough for 10 people. He devours all of it, and I'm reminded of a high-power vacuum cleaner.
Excellent!
I haven't been this full in forever. Good for you. Now answer our questions. What were you doing down there? Well, that's an easy one. Because it's my home. What? Been living there ever since I found it 10 years ago. It's not too shabby a place. It keeps me out of the rain and no damn brats messing with me. And in case you're wondering, that's referring to violence against homeless people, which some gangs have known to take part in. Though it gets a mite cold in winter. I don't know how to respond to that. Hiro and Daimon seem to be the same. It was a paradise for me because no one knows about it. Until a weirdo showed up 6 months ago. Some woman doused in perfume. It was winter, and I don't like stirring up trouble, so I just stayed away. That must have been Zukawa. I nod. That is my thought as well. That was a month ago. I figured she must have up and left, so I went back. But now there's something stranger. Which was? A damn walking Buddha statue. I know I'm pretty out there, but even I was shocked by that. I even got this weird scar. Banshee removes the scarf, revealing the mark on his neck. You may not believe this, but that statue gave you that scar. I figured. It was the Kannon soldier, after all. The Kannon soldier? How do you know that name? Some documents I saw had it. It was an old plan to make a Buddha statue move with supernatural powers. A heavenly Buddha project weapon. Are you nuts? Spirit powers making something move? That's insane! Now, Hiro, calm down. So those documents that you found, are they still around? Nope, I burned them for warmth. I had a delicious roasted potato, too. How could you? Maybe take your own advice, Dr. Daimon. Our measure of common sense seems to be rather different than this strange old man's. It's fine, my noggin works different from most people's. I got it all memorized. As you say, just tell us. We need to know about that project. The Heavenly Buddha Project was the pet project of some general at the end of the war, so they built that shelter for it. Ta-da! The 13th Army Engineering Lab. To make the Kannon soldier thing, they did tests on Buddha statues. They were brought from some shrine or something somewhere. That must be a shrine. They did a bunch of stuff to infuse the statues with spiritual power. There was a monk from Tea Mountain, spiritual treasures from all over, but nobody thought anything would actually come from it. The project was just an excuse to keep that fanatical general busy. At least, it was supposed to be. But one day, the statue started moving. It went berserk throughout the lab and went crazy on a ton of people. The bloodstains and old corpses in the shelter are probably the victims. Some people survived, but they had red, bite-like marks on them. The thing went and wrecked the place, too. It stopped and never moved again. No one knows what even triggered it. That's about everything it said. Hero and Daimon are as white as a sheet. I probably am too. It's a hard story to believe, but he has no reason to lie to us. I think he speaks the truth. What? Are you kidding me? A statue going around killing people and cursing them? Impossible! Then how do you explain the mark on his neck? Logic would dictate that the moving statue you saw was the Kannon soldier. The dormant soldier suddenly starts moving after 50 years. That might be the cause of mine and Hero's marks. What if you flip that, though? Both of your grandpas got the mark from the Kannon soldier. When the soldier stopped moving, their marks disappeared. But with it started up again, you got them because you're their descendants. If that's true, then the children inherited their parents' fate. Hero can't seem to muster up any kind of counter-argument. I think she's in shock. I want to ask you something, old man. You say the Kannon soldier stopped moving 50 years ago, but why? I think it was... some spiritual person used a thingamajig to do something? So you have no idea. It's the most important part. Try to remember. It's not that easy, son. The mark might have made me forget. Taking his age into account, it's more likely it just completely slipped his mind. Seems we must defeat the Kannon soldier to be free of our marks. We'll have to figure it out on our own if he can't be of more help. You seem a pro at this, Light. We'll be relying on you. I don't have spiritual powers or anything. But you've already faced down 4 different spirits, haven't you? A normal person wouldn't have survived. Now that he says it, I guess he's right. I have been hearing a mysterious voice a few times, and having weird premonitions. I even caught myself unconsciously talking when we were down in the shelter. So, what are you folks gonna do now? What are you folks gonna do now? Good question. Let's investigate the statues in the shelter. I finally figured out where the statues stolen from H Shrine are. If we can return them, it's possible our marks will disappear. I guess we're going back in then. Hero's still kind of sulking, but at least she's recovered from her shock. We all share the same fate. It's too late to try to run away. Yep, you should find it there. The heart of everything that's causing the curse. You need that to stop the Kannon soldier. That's what my gut's telling me. What are you going to do then? I'm full now, so I was gonna go take a nap in that park nearby. I'll sit and wait until you fellas do something about that soldier. Wait just a minute, you old fart. Didn't we just say that it's too late to run away? Okay, I get it. Well, you folks did feed me, so I guess I can help you. The underground shelter's inhabitant, other.
Excellent!
Anything change out here? It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open it if I had the key. There's a single out-of-place Buddha statue. Its head has been cut off. It's a big iron box. There's a thin layer of dust on it, but it looks fairly intact. notice. The box is packed with carelessly tossed Buddha statue heads. A real, actual head can clearly be seen among them. It's dry and mummified, but going by the long hair, it's probably female. Most likely one of the experiment's victims. So this is where it was. Let's take it and bring it to its owner. I thought you'd say that. Just kidding. I feel Banshee's gaze on me. The box in Warehouse 1. I can only carry one head. I need to choose which one to take. If they talked about it, odds are that's the important one. It's a Buddha statue. The headless Buddha statue is covered in dust. There's a talisman stuck to the neck as if it's taking the place of the missing head. Which way do I go? Yeah, unfortunately I was kind of half asleep when I was recording the first half of this, so... I don't know. Thinking I should probably just Google a map of this place so I can see where I'm going. So we were just over that side on the right. The one area was a dead end. The one had the box, so let's try going this way. Because the other area was a dead end. It seems to be locked. It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. I could open if I had the key. I can hear a victory chant coming from the other side of the intersection. I shrug and keep moving forward. I take one step forward and... an electric current runs through my body and my muscles seize up. You layabout, what are you doing there? You have no time to be loafing around, do you? Recite this base's slogans at once. Cheer for the final battle in the homeland. Isn't this bonsai? The other ones don't really make a lot of sense. Once more, declare a resolve to strike back with air raids. We won't lose even if our country's reduced to ashes. Show your determination. That's reminding me of Graveyard of the Fireflies. So they said scorched land. Our army has fought bravely from the southern tropics to the northern Arctic. But the tide still hasn't turned in our favor. What do you think? Can we win this crusade? We're not France, so option 1's off the table. But if you don't know, the Kamikaze is the storm that turned back Genghis Khan, so it holds very, I guess you want to say, intrinsic national value? Might be the best way to describe it. You're pretty promising for a new recruit. Keep a good eye on this squad. Farewell. Something's written on the wall in blood. It says I. Love? Human bones. Looks like the person was crushed to death. It's a thick iron door. The keyhole isn't rusted. So if we have the key already, why are these all locked still? You only need to get past the one area, unless you're trying to go for immersion or something. Even still, that knocks me out of the immersion. It's the operating room in the southern section, but on this table is... How about that? A dead body. A headless corpse is lying there. It's missing not only its head, but also all of its limbs. What kind of torture was this? A headless corpse. Going by what remains of its clothing, it was likely a woman. It's a rusted filing cabinet. It's a well-built metal cabinet. Whatever's inside should be intact. The door is locked. A headless corpse is lying on top of the operating table. The head I picked up earlier might fit on this corpse's neck. Should I try attaching the head? Sure. Maybe he'll get up and talk to us. I try attaching the human head. The human head fits the severed neck perfectly. The world suddenly distorts. A horrific scene appears before my eyes. This is the woman on the operating table? Some kind of experiment is being performed on her. I must be seeing the past. The sound triggers a change in views. Men in a lab coat, holding surgical tools. So there's a typo there. It's either a lab coat or men in lab coats. But they don't look like they're alive. The ghosts of the researchers seem to be stuck forever in the nightmare of the past. I can hear the men whisper from my left side. Hey, she's awake. Don't worry, she'll be dead soon anyway. Sure enough. Then something else interrupts. You. This time it's a cold whisper from my right. You can hear me, can't you? Don't be afraid. Soon. The voice on my right cuts off and I can hear the men in lab coats again. Hey, woman. Which of these tools do you want us to use to cut your neck? This is it for you, so we'll let you decide. So if you remember, the rough cut earlier was done by a chisel. That's the only thing here that'll make that rough cut. The other ones will make a smoother one. Good answer. You're pretty smart. Unfortunately, you'll soon be saying goodbye to that clever head of yours. It's valuable material. We'll cut it off nicely. Shut up, you're just like a pig. This is why I hate handling women. Be patient, we finally found a clue. Not yet, wait. Now, give you power. The whisper from my right falls silent. Yeah, I never dreamed breaking from our usual method would go so well. Hey, pig, do you understand? Do you know the correct combination of head and body for the Heavenly Buddha? If they took the head off, process elimination, people. Precisely, and that's why we need your head. Gladly offer it up for the sake of our beloved country. The problem is the soul freshness. Regardless of refrigeration, it's all up to the quality of the cut. Though there are only so many available methods. This is all the equipment we have. Then to the freezer. The voices on the left cut out. I don't even know what those are supposed to be on her side. A determined voice echoes in my right ear. Hate, hate, hate. Hate this whole world. Tear it to pieces. The power to do that, I'll give it all to you, in the place where you hear me now. Hate them. Destroy them. Understand? We'll go with option number 3. Good. Destroy them. When I return to my senses, I'm standing beside the operating table. Just then, something slides out of the hand of the corpse on the table. Got a small key. What I just saw. No, more importantly, the voice that kept speaking from my right side. Who was that? You don't look so great there. Did you see something by chance? Yeah, actually. I explained to Banshee what I just saw. A horrible tragedy happened here in the past. It's possible that whatever triggered it might have been whoever that voice belonged to. Interesting. Can't say I'm surprised. Something like that happened here. So, what's it got to do with our marks? Well, I'm not sure about that part, but... Banshee's right. This isn't helping us accomplish our goal. We need to search for whatever gave birth to the spirit. Let's keep looking. That small key I just found might belong to the cabinet here. I turn my attention to the mark on my wrist. It isn't coming yet. I glance over at Banshee, but they don't seem to be acting differently at all. Death should be slowly closing in on us, but it seems we still have some time. What's important right now is making sure we survive. Mysterious human experiments. It's a rusted filing cabinet. I open the door using the small key. Inside is an old gun and some research records. Suddenly, berserk, severe damage, sutra chanting, complete insanity. Only those who made themselves deaf managed to remain sane. Half spiritualized, like disposal vat, need sacred object, attack. Destroy human head, the heart of all this. Need to destroy human head. That's all it says. Got gun with blanks. Research records 3. Let's try going across this time. The door is stained with blood. On closer look, it's countless handprints. The keyhole is perfectly fine. I could open the door if I had the key. Inside the room are a number of Buddha statues. They're all missing their heads. It seems this is where they stored all the various statues they gathered through theft or donations. This is the statue storage room. There's some angry feelings here, what with the handprints on the door. This has gotta be the source that gave birth to the spirit. I brace myself for input from the other me. But it doesn't seem like that's happening. Does that mean I should already know?